Hey everyone, welcome back to the Privacy Guy. It's been a while since I've made a video and really just wanted to get back in the habit of sharing the latest privacy news and information with you guys. Today's video just kind of has to do with some of the comments that I see fairly commonly on my videos, kind of regardless of what they are about. So regardless of the topic of the video, one of the questions that I see fairly often is, if I make a video about private search engines, people go, hey, what's the best private search engine? Or I make a video about browsers, maybe something that Firefox has done, and people ask, well, what's the best browser for privacy? Um, kind of like most things, it really depends. Um, at the end of the day, there probably are some cut and dry answers that, X is the best browser for privacy, or this is the best private search engine, whatever. But the answer to answer those questions specifically for you is difficult because I think at the end of the day, the best privacy product or the best tool for protecting your privacy is the one that you're going to use. So even if some search engine that requires you to connect to Tor, for example, and then some browser that you use Tor, um, that might be the most private of any of the search engines or of any of the browsers. But if your technical knowledge doesn't allow you to connect to Tor easily, or doesn't even allow you to install something like that, then no matter how great the privacy is, um, you're not going to get those benefits because guess what? You're not using it. So I really just want to give a shout out to a few privacy tools that I think are, you know, they're some of the best. And even if they're not, the first in line as the best privacy protection, um, they are incredibly useful. They're easy to use. So even if you're just trying to figure out how to use the internet privately, these tools can help. Um, so I'm going to go through three. First one is DuckDuckGo. It's a private search engine. It's one of the best. Second one, Mozilla Firefox. It's a browser. It's not, it doesn't come installed by default on most computers, but it's more private than many of the alternatives. So uh, I think it's a great choice for browsers. And then third, and some of you are going to hate me for this, iOS. It's a mobile operating system that is installed on iPhones. Um, and I'm a big fan of what Apple's doing with privacy right now. So, the three products I'm going to go through: DuckDuckGo, Mozilla Firefox, and iOS. Um, so, DuckDuckGo, it's a private search engine. I've made many videos about DuckDuckGo before, so I'll include links in the description to these videos, but basically, it's a search engine that doesn't track you. If you're using Google right now, Google is collecting information about what you're searching for, which websites you visit, what results you click on um, in your Google search results, what videos you watch on YouTube, and it's compiling information about you, where you go, what destinations you type into Google Maps, all that stuff. Google's collecting it and it is assembling a data profile about you. So it collects all the data that it can when you're using its services and it compiles a profile of that information. If you're concerned about privacy, this is terrible. So use DuckDuckGo. It's an alternative to Google's search engine. Um, Even if you still use Chrome, I recommend using DuckDuckGo because it's one less thing that Google can track. And that's the first step to protecting your privacy is moving away from tools that don't respect your privacy. And DuckDuckGo is an easy first move. The search results are great. Sometimes, it takes 3 extra seconds because, the results you were looking for didn't come up at first. But typically, if you just refine your search a little bit, you can find what you're looking for. Next up, Mozilla Firefox. Firefox, I remember I first installed Firefox on my computer. I was probably in eighth grade, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because it wasn't Internet Explorer or whatever browser was installed on my computer by default. So I have quite a bit of experience using Firefox. I think it's really developed its reputation over a number of years. It's a respected player in the tech industry. Um, and recently, probably over the past year or two, Firefox has developed many more privacy strategies. So they've included new tools like Firefox containers, which allow you to use things like Facebook in an isolated window so that Facebook isn't able to collect all of your other browsing information or to track that. Um, so these containers allow you to still use things like Facebook if you need to do that for work or whatever, but it just allows you to separate that from your other browsing, which is an awesome privacy tool. Firefox has um, taken steps to block trackers. At first, I think this was only available in private windows in Firefox, but I think they've expanded the feature so that you can block trackers by default using Firefox, which is great for limiting the information that platforms like Facebook and Google have about you. So Firefox, it's easy to download. Just go to firefox.com, click download, and go through the steps. It's very simple. It's easy to use, and I think you'll really like it if you haven't used it. It's fast. It's great. And then finally, iOS. Um, so I might get some criticism for recommending a product that is built by a company as large as Apple. Um, but at the end of the day, iOS is widely used. Apple has sold millions of iPhones. I mean, I don't know how many iPhones Apple has sold, but um, considering the differences between Android and iOS, it's hard not to recommend iOS. Android requires you to sign into a Google account that basically allows Google to track all of your activity on your phone. iOS, on the other hand, uses what's called differential privacy. So Apple's still able to collect information about how people use their iPhones and how people use certain features, but when using differential privacy, they're only able to collect that at an aggregate level. So they aren't able to collect specific information about your usage and link that back to your identity, which is amazing because the alternative is Google knows everything I do on my phone. Google knows where I'm going. Google knows who I'm communicating with. Google knows which apps I've installed. And I'm not a fan of that. And another thing that Apple has done, which I made a video about recently, is blocking websites and apps from collecting information without getting your permission first. So you may notice if you have an iPhone that recently you've probably been prompted like, hey, do you want to let this app track your location? Do you want to let this app get your email address? All that stuff. I think that step alone is really setting Apple apart from a privacy standpoint. It's making privacy accessible and it's easy to use for anyone. All you have to do is own an iPhone. So those are my three products: DuckDuckGo, private search engine; Mozilla Firefox, it's a browser, it's privacy friendly; and iOS, it's an operating system for iPhones. So once again, the best privacy tools are the ones that you're actually going to use and that you can understand and interact with easily. And those three are some of the best at doing that. So let me know if you have any questions that I can answer. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And stay tuned for more videos soon. Thank you.